used to bag work about an apartment 5B.
You're now tuned into the Apartment 5B podcast, where we chop it up about hip-hop, R&B, sports, love, and life. Hosted by Kill.
What's good? You two in the Apartment 5B podcast hosted by your man Cal. I got my squad up here in effect with me today. I got my man who always mixing in action. What's going on, good brother?
Peace. What's good, brother?
Hey, man. Glad to have you on, man. I got my homegirl, Tosh Digital. What's going on, miss?
What's good, Kel? What's good, people?
Oh, man. Everything is good. Good to see you again. I got my good brother, Sue. What's going on, bro?
What's good, Kel?
Oh, man, everything is everything, man. Y'all know how I am. Let's jump right into it. A couple of weeks ago, we did a show. I think it was about the most improved MC. And my man, Haas, making a joke, said Cardi B. You know what I mean? My man, Yao, co-signed, like, yo, Cardi did improve. You didn't say the most improved MCs that you like, but, you know, look, I was like, look, shorty still, I don't listen to her music like that. So I was like, I don't see it, but he was like, yo, Kill, just listen to the album. I'm like, bro, I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna listen to Cardi B album. Give me one song. I'll give you one song to try to sell me on Cardi B. And to this day, he hasn't given it to me, thank God. But the moral to the story was, I started thinking about joints. There are people who we may like as MCs or groups or albums that other people may not rock with or look at sideways for. So it's like, what would be, and Ev came up with the perfect name for it. It's almost like the gateway drug. Like, what would be your gateway drug for this person? So, of course, on Twitter, me, Sue, and Tosh talking. I said something about Cormega, and both of them jumped on me, man. I got, Ev, they rolled on me like Bro and Ollie, like back in high school. They jumped me, on Cormega. They was like, man, don't grind me about Cormega, you know what I mean? So I was like, I bet, we gonna look at 5 artists, MCs, maybe an album that we know we love or that we appreciate that other people may not, and boom, what song or what album would y'all try to sell us on them? And carefully, and maybe 2-3 months later, I'd love to come back, do this show, maybe even talk about, what, I listened to the Mega joint, I like them, or anybody who we're talking about, so more than anything, just want to have an open-minded conversation about MCs, groups, albums that we love that other people may not be feeling. We already started with Mega, so we might as well just keep it going with Mega. Sue, tell me this: what is it about Mega? Because I think Mega is such an anomaly to me, and the reason I say that is because I know people who love Mega and I know people who hate Mega. I'm like somewhere in the middle. I don't think dude is incredible. I don't think he's whack. I think he's good. But what is it about Mega for you? And Tosh, then we'll come to you. But Sue, what is it about Mega for you that you love this dude so much?
His wordplay, he be slick talking. I mean, just that whole QB vibe, and the way he flip his words, like he's just very lyrical to me. And you once said something about he be rhyming off beat or something like that. I don't remember what it was that you said, but I'm like, you gonna let that one small thing get in the way of what like this man's talent? He got a sick pen game, and he was original Firm member. I don't know, what happened between him and Nas, and the stories and stuff like that, but dude is just sick. I got a couple songs here. I mean, was his album, I think The Realness was his first album after he lost the deal with what was it, Columbia Records, I think.
Well, here's the thing. What are you gonna sell me on? You gotta point me, and I'll give Mega out. Give me an album that.
No, but see, Kel, you want to get sold by a project with Cormega, and I'm gonna admit my bias right now. I know him personally now, I just met him last year in person. We actually collaborated on a few projects together. However, aside from that, prior to that, I was a huge fan of his. You can't mention Cormega without mentioning the first independent album of the year for The Source.
All right, which one was that?
That was, I believe that was True Meaning.
Okay.
Like your boy mentioned, he was on the shelf for 5 years over at Def Jam. I don't know any other artist that was on the shelf that long that didn't get convicted of a crime. For example, Max Beat. You know what I'm saying? Mega's a gangster in the streets, outside of rap. So it's like, it's not just the music, it's the story behind the music too that you kind of have to appreciate about him, because he literally changed the game before everything went digital. He was independent. Like, he was one of the first artists on the East Coast to be independent when a lot of people were still trying to get that label deal.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
The Realness was the Realness was independent, right? Wasn't that like on Land Speed Records or something like that?
Yeah, The Realness was independent, but the album that got I believe the album that was independent album of the year for The Source was True Meaning.
True Meaning. Okay.
That was a follow-up album. However, the first album was supposed to be The Testament, but they had that on the shelf for so long, he ended up putting out The Realness first. But The Testament was supposed to be his first album.
All right. Okay. Yeah, because my man actually just hit me on IG today and like hit me with like a whole 3-hour documentary. Like, he was like, yo, peep this. And this is what I mean about Mega. Like I said, he's polarizing because you got some people who love him, and then I know some people are like, yo, this dude is the worst ever without the Nas cosign. You know,
but they're not taking a closer look at his story. Like, yeah, definitely his ties with Nas affected his whole career. It still overshadows him to this day. There's no denying that. However, as an MC, as a lyricist, and also just someone who's very, very knowledgeable, like, it comes through his lyrics, you know. Like you mentioned, Kill, the offbeat flow you couldn't really get with, you know, that, but that's Mega. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes him who he is, that offbeat flow. But I will say that the stuff that I've heard lately, he sounds like he's still hungry. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like when Mace came out with the Oracle last year, you were like, damn, this sounds like 19-year-old Mace all over again. Like, Mega's a vegan, he doesn't smoke, he doesn't drink, he's like very clear. So his music is a reflection of that, of his lifestyle.
All right, no doubt. So my fault, Tosh, what you said?
Yeah, no, I was just saying, so like, I have a lot of respect for like what he's about. Mega's in his late 40s. He's like representing, you know, for me, more mature hip-hop artists, because I know a lot of dudes in their late 40s that are still out here running around with multiple women. They're not living righteously.
Right.
So Mega is like, to me, he's carrying the torch in that realm as far as like maturity, and he's always speaking to the people every day, dropping words of wisdom. Like, there's more books coming. Like, he doesn't want to just be known as Cormega. He wants to walk in a room and be known as Corey McKay.
All right.
No doubt. I respect what he's about, you know?
No doubt. So, Sue, what's the album you sending me for me to get into Mega?
The Realness.
All right. The Realness.
I mean, to me, that album is unfast forwardable to me, man. Everything on there, hit after hit. Have you ever heard it, Kill? Or you...
No, I never heard it. I'll be the first to admit I never heard it. Like I said, wow. I only heard, you know, I've heard joints, I've heard, you know, verses here, whatever, but nothing stood out enough. But at the end of the day, I understand that me and Ed would always chop it up that sometimes in life there's so much hip hop that drops at one time that there's just certain things that you miss here and there. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's why for me, I'm always open. Like, if you tell me something that's dope and I respect y'all, it's like, okay, well, let me peep what I'm missing out on, because maybe I didn't give it the right listen to. You know what I mean? So, like Ev said, you know, it's the gateway drug. Like, what's gonna put me on the Mega? So, the Realness, guess I'm gonna chop it up with that this weekend. I'm gonna sit down chill with it. We gonna come back in a couple of weeks, couple of months, chop it back up and see, you know, if the realness sold me on Mega. Yeah,
I mean, dude is so ill with the pen. I never even noticed that off the flow that you keep, you know, speaking about. I guess I gotta really listen.
I notice it sometimes, you know, but the type of things he says to me, he's like, never mix business with benevolence. You might end up regretting it. And it's like, he just drops mad jewels in his lyrics. Like, it's undeniable. So yeah, and that line came from the Realness album. That you got my unanimous vote on that. I think you should check out that project.
No, y'all got my word. I'm digging into the joint because, like I said, whenever something, I tell people in a second, maybe I missed something, maybe it was the wrong time, I ain't hear it. You know what I mean? Whatever.
Yeah.
But
that came out in the summer of 2001, so it's gonna have its 17-year anniversary this summer.
All right.
You know, that album got me through my first year of college. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like, Prodigy is my favorite MC. I got H&IC on my wrist. Like, you know, that album came out in 2000. You know, so these projects all came out around the same time. CNN's Reunion album. I don't know. You would have thought I was from Queensbridge as much as I heralded these Queens artists. You know, but it's just something about that flavor out there. Like, I was more of a fan of Mega as a person, as a voice on social media, because he's always speaking to social issues and things like that. So and he doesn't disrespect women. So I always gravitated toward his energy for those reasons.
All right. And just you talking about how, you know, being in the late 40s and everything like that, and that's even piqued my interest even more. You know what I mean? Because that's what we
an entrepreneur. So, I feel like I'm shamelessly plugging him right now, but he has a Ewing sneaker out right now. He did a collaboration with Patrick Ewing, you know, and if I'm not mistaken, he introduced Big Pun's widow to Ewing, and Pun has a Ewing sneaker too now.
Wow.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? Mikey Likes It ice cream, they have a Ewing sneaker. So Ewing is doing a lot of collaborations now with the hip hop and entrepreneurial movement. So, like I told you, for me, it's bigger than music. It's about what are you doing to empower your community. You know, 2 Chainz, I'm a huge fan of his. He's on my list too today.
All right. We gonna get into it a little bit more. We gonna chop it up. Ev, good brother, who do you got, man? Which one of your MCs, man?
And I don't know. I don't know if this is quite an anomaly. I think, you know, I would assume that there are others that like this cat too. Is Old Dirty. I think Old Dirty is one of the strongest MCs out the woo. I think that Into 36 Chambers, Return to the 36 Chambers is a classic album. I think the dude is before its time. But when I say that in certain circles, people look at me kind of sideways because they, you know, everybody has this idea that Dirty is just like, you know, just kind of loose with it and just not, you know, not always there. But I think, you know, there's some serious stories to be told about Dirty that are, you know, borderline genius kind of shit. I think the way that if you read on how that album itself got recorded, the first one, I think it's phenomenal. So
now what's the story behind how they got recorded?
Well, the story behind it is kind of a wild story, but the story, the one that I either read this somewhere or maybe somebody told me this word of mouth, but Dirt would just show up in the studio and he would drop like not a verse, but like a bar. And then he would leave, go back out in the street, do what he was doing. He'd come back again and he would drop another bar. And then he would come back later. So it's a wild story. Like I said, I've never got a chance.
You say just a bar, not even dropping a whole verse.
Not even a verse. He would come in, just drop like a bar and then bounce. This again, I have not researched this story to find out if it's actual fact. But to me, you know, outside of that, even if that's true or not true, I just think the cat itself is just like, I think Dirt is just a phenomenal MC. I think he's truly an artist, and you know, I think you know, kind of, you know, wish he stayed around a little bit longer, or a lot bit longer, I should say. You know what I mean? Really to really like do more work.
All right, so for cats out there who, and here's a better question: 5 mic scale. You know, I rate everything on that. How many mics you give Dirty as an MC?
As an MC,
Yeah.
I'm picky. I would say as an MC, 3.5 to 4.
3.5 to 4. All right. And what Old Dirty John would you send folk to who ain't on Old Dirty like that? Would it be an album or one song?
I'll definitely send a whole project. I would say it would depend on the person. You know, some people I'll send the first one. Other people I'll send the second one. Because it's two different cats. To me, you getting two different entities on each album.
Now the second one was Nigga Please, right?
Yeah. It was a little looser. It was probably, it sounded like it's probably more drugged out. But as a project, I think Dirt is always going to be who he is, and I respect him for that at the end of the day.
All right, no doubt. The first artist that I got up for bat, and I'm sure Ev will have many jokes about it, is one of the most slept on MCs who I think is in the game, Mr. Joe Budden. You know what I mean?
I don't got no beef against Joe. I have no beef. I just think he wears all his emotion on his sleeve.
I feel you.
After a while, it gets to be a bit much.
I feel you, but see, that's the thing I love about Joe. I
fuck with Joe.
Now, my story behind Joe is simple. Baltimore, 2009, they had a show. It was MOP, Joe Budden, Terminology, and Big Sugar. Term and Big Sugar went on, did their thing. House is half packed, like 50 people, no more. They say Joe Budden's coming to the stage. I swear on my life, 300 people appeared out of nowhere. I don't know how they got in the club, where they came from. Joe tore it down. The people I went with, some Brooklyn cats, they left the show. They ain't had a voice. They was like, I ain't been to a hip hop show in so many years where people like lost their voice rapping along with every verse. I'm sitting here in the corner like lost, like, damn, this is the first time in my life I'm at a hip hop show and I don't know what's going on because I ain't know it. For me, it was just, you mean that Pump It Up Joe Budden dude? And it's so funny because whenever I talk about Joe Budden, that's what people be like. They be like, Pump It Up Joe Budden? I'm like, yo, you gotta listen to the mixtapes. The same thing people told me. So that night I went home, did the knowledge on all the music mixtapes and everything. Joe is a problem. He's an incredible MC. He could give it to you all. He can battle. He could tell stories. I mean, on the low, Joe Budden to me is like, the most underrated storyteller ever. And I think most people look at me like I'm crazy because most people haven't heard the stories in the joints I'm talking about. It's funny because when you talk hip hop with some people, you'll realize they never even heard of the artist, but like they're going against the artist. You know what I mean? So like when I tell people that, they're like, but I'm like, yo, have you heard Three Sides to a Story? Have you heard Who Killed Hip Hop? Have you heard, these joints? Joe got a joint, Who Killed Hip Hop, a 15-minute rhyme, just breaking down from Who Killed Hip Hop. You know what I mean? So I'm not talking about if he's cool, if he's an asshole, the reality series Joe. I'm just talking about spitting. And if I had to put somebody on the Joe, I would say two things. Move Music 4, my favorite Joe Budden project. I give it 5 mics. I'm sure it's just me and Joe, the only two people who give it 5 mics. And then also, I got a mixtape called The Mind of Joe Budden. I specifically put it together for people who doubted Joe. And I've made and trust and believe. I've turned a lot of folk on to Joe that people will be like, yo, Kill, after your mixtape, yeah, you're right. That dude Joe is nasty. If you only want to give Joe one song, listen to Who Killed Hip Hop. Like I said, it's 15 minutes. You spazzes, you can get it off of YouTube. So that's what I got up for my first joint. Sue, who's another artist that you want to sell a song, good brother?
Okay. Now, this artist has been through a lot, a little bit of controversy lately, and he seems to be a bit of a joke or a punchline right now, but I'm going to go with Hell Rell.
Okay.
To me, one of the hardest MCs on Dipset. He's slick with it. He come like he not from Harlem. I believe he's from the Bronx. So originally, people was like, oh, he ain't from Harlem and all, Dipset from Harlem. Okay, whatever, man. It ain't got nothing to do with nothing. The dude is hard. Flipping freestyles. His punchlines is sick. Like, the best way I can describe, I'm gonna go right to it and be like, if I was ever gonna put anybody on to Hell Rell, I'll tell you to listen to the first song you had on that Dipset album, which is called "This Is What I Do," and that's like one of the craziest records, slickest, most lyrical. Like this, like it's amazing to me, man.
Now tell me this: you talking about Diplomatic Immunity, the first album, right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
But see, like I said, all this thing going on, like a lot of these things going on in his personal life, and 50 clowning him, and Joe Budden clowning him, and all that other stuff. It's not like really people are shallow, and they pay attention to that, and they want to make fun and all that. But like look at the MC. Like you said, like if you was to ask me as an MC, he's definitely 4 mics.
All right, no doubt. I ain't even gonna hold you. I ain't really up on Hell Rail like that, but I definitely, like I said, pay a little more attention or whatever like that. And kind of like, my bad. What you saying, Sue?
No. I'm saying Diplomatic Immunity. The double CD, the first one that came out. The track is called "This Is What I Do." You listen to that, there's no way you can tell me that he ain't nice or that you didn't like that song.
All right. No doubt. And like you said, same thing about Joe. We ain't talking about the person or if dude is mad. Dudes be like, well, Joe corny or he on that Love and Hip Hop. I'm not talking about.
Yeah, I think that whole Love and Hip Hop did Joe Budden a disservice, in my opinion, man.
Well, even prior to Love and Hip Hop, because of his relationship with Tahiri, it was very public. I personally would not mess with Joe Budden's music or anything involving him for a long time until I saw him evolving as a person. Once I saw he was in a very loving and respectful relationship with Sin Santana, that's when I started to embrace Joe Budden. And I actually met him last summer, and he was like, what do you do? And I told him I'm producing a documentary right now. And he was like, we need more people like you. Joe is very mature. He's very emotionally intelligent, and he has the potential to like lead this hip hop movement in a more mature direction as a man, as a family man, and I respect that.
No doubt. Tosh, what's another one of your artists you want to sell us on?
Okay, let me see. I mentioned 2 Chainz briefly. The reason why, and it's funny because my man was like, yo, I noticed you be quoting two Chainz a lot. He official like that? And I was like, yo, it was, if I could sell you on one song and one video of his, it's gonna be Feeling You, where he sampled in a very obscure Alicia Keys record, right? And y'all know how much I love sampling. So it was back in 2011. I saw this video. The way that it's shot is very, the filter on it has like, lines through the screen, kind of like the old school movies. He's got his double cup, but it's branded with Codeine Cowboys on it, which was like the name of his tape that was out at the time. He has some women in his living room that were getting painted, like live body art, very tastefully done. He was watching Superfly on the big screen, so it was just a lot of visuals happening at once, like very strong branding. And I was like, this brother's going places. And that was in 2011. Fast forward to now, he has like 8 to 10 businesses, successful ones, so this is, like I said, this is bigger than rap for us. There's a lot of talented artists out there. However, it's up to us to use these platforms to like create businesses and opportunities in our communities. Right. And 2 Chainz is a person that's really doing that. And back to that song, he's spitting that game. He's like, he said, I'm getting married. Ben Franklin's my best man. You know what I'm saying? He was like, when I met her, when she met me, I made her change all her statements. Not what she say, but where she banks and how she thinks. I can't complain. He's spitting a lot of game on these songs. A lot of people don't take him seriously through his music, but he's on his BI, and he's always featured in Forbes magazine.
Tell me this. What's the name of that joint again?
It's called Feeling You.
Feeling You. All right. The funny thing with 2 Chainz is I never really was on him like that, but the thing that showed me something was when he was on De La's last album, and he killed it. You know what I mean? Because I'm looking at the track list before it dropped, and I'm like, 2 Chainz. I'm like, word? And then he killed that joint. You know what I mean? So a lot of times I know for me at least, with sometimes with Southern MCs, you know, for me being a producer, it's a lot of times about the beats. So I may not like some of the beats they use, but then when I hear them over beats that like I rock with, I'm like, damn, yo, dude, this is kind of nice. You know, so that was the first thing that put me on the 2 Chainz, but I will definitely check that joint out. Ev, what about you? You got anybody else, or you bowing out with Old Dirty?
No, I got a few more. Do you have to like everything?
I mean, don't nobody like everything.
Good enough. I would say one cat, man, who doesn't get talked about enough, and I think he's dope. He does some really dope projects. Is Prince Paul. Yeah, a lot of people don't say Prince Paul because they're always connecting him with Daylight, and they kind of just leave him there. But if you look at Prince Paul's, you know, his own personal discography, he has some joints. His first joint, The Prince of Thieves, I thought was a pretty dope album. Concept-wise, the way it was put together, that kid would be the one that I would tell people to check out for if you want to get a little insight on Prince Paul. Also, what I do like about him too, he did something a little bit later after that first one with Bernie Worrell before Bernie passed. Bernie is the keyboard player for P-Funk. So a lot of that P-Funk stuff was actually Bernie. Bernie, he was like the cat had perfect pitch and everything. So they did the album together. It wasn't the best album, but just the fact that he was one of the cats that started that process of, he always, like, Prince Paul is always starting a thing that other people kind of wind up doing later. And, that's one thing I really dig about him. So even with that project, that was something that I feel like he was one of the first cats that went and got like an older person and actually did a today's album with them. But yeah, Prince of Thieves would be the one I would tell people to check for. I think it was put together really well. I think that the guests he has on there, the production is dope. The idea, the concept is dope. Sometimes I like that when the album has a broader concept than just, let me just give you 10 songs or 15 songs. Like his whole thing, it's a whole story. So yeah, Prince Paul, Prince of Thieves.
All right, no doubt. The other thing about Prince Paul that a lot of young cats may not know, like you said, outside De La Soul, he was part of Stetson Sonic, the original hip-hop band that came out. I want to say Stet dropped in maybe like 86, 87 with their joint On Fire. And then just his part in the Gravediggers too. You know what I mean?
I was going to bring that up too. Yeah, the Gravediggers part, exactly.
No, they were one of the first to like confront, James Matume about his stance on sampling.
Yep, with the talking
all that jazz.
Yep.
And they just had Matume on Unsung. I'm not even gonna get into the whole sampling debate right now, but it's been lit lately on Twitter.
Yeah,
that's a show within itself because we can really get deep and dirty with a conversation like that. I know a couple of jazz cats when I was living in Harlem, a couple of jazz cats that was frequent. That's always the older cats too, and you wind up having these long conversations about sampling. But I think, Kill, that would be a dope conversation to have with an actual older jazz cat.
Yeah, no doubt. We gotta see if we can put that together.
Yeah. The film I'm producing right now is about a brother that's been sampled over and over again. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So Weldon Irvine.
Yeah.
Word.
Yeah. Dope musician. Very dope. The next person I got up is a group, Dilated Peoples. You know what I mean? The thing with Dilated is, to me, they just embody hip hop. To me, they're two dope MCs, an incredible DJ. You know what I mean? In a time where groups don't even have DJs anymore, Babu is definitely one of the dopest DJs walking the planet Earth. And it's funny to me because whenever I talk about Dilated, people are like, I ain't really feeling them like that. And I'm to be honest, I was shocked. Like, word? Like, how don't you feel two dope MCs, a dope DJ over damn near all Alchemist beats? You know what I mean? Like, these dudes to me embody everything that you want from hip hop and everything like that. But it's shocking to see that so many people really are like, they'll be like, Ev is boring. I don't really know how to pronounce Iris name. He doesn't really do nothing for me. Rocker Iris Science is the other MC, but I love their discography. They've never changed. They give you the boom bap. They give you everything that people say they want from hip hop and that's missing in hip hop. And don't give you. So I'm always shocked about that. If cats only wanted to give them one song, I would say Worst Comes to Worst. You know what I mean? That was a joint that Alchemist did for him. Scratching up the Mobb Deep Worst Come to Worst, My Peoples Come First joint. Had a little quick cameo from Google on there. which was dope. And if you got the time for a whole album, I would say Expansion Team. Expansion Team is, I want to say, let me see real quick. I think this is their third album. Expansion Team. No, it's their second album. Platform was their first. Expansion Team was their second. You got production from Primo, the Beat Miners, the Beat Nuts, Alchemist, Joey Chavez, just a dope all-around album. So if I had to sell somebody on Dilated, it would definitely be that joint. Sue, what you got up next, good brother?
I'm gonna go with my man Chic Louch, which is the very forgotten
member of the Locks.
Third member of the Locks. Doesn't get as much shine as Jada and Styles, but to me, in my opinion, has one of the better solo albums out the three. Like I said, slick punchlines, street shit. He like I said, he's like the most obscure member. You don't really know too much about him, but after he dropped his album After Taxes, you got to know a little bit about him, a little bit about his life, a little bit. You got to really like know him as an MC, and like he's very broad. Like you wouldn't know that because, like I said, Styles and Jada get all the attention. But Chic, very underrated, and like I said, to me, has one of the better solo albums out of the three.
All right, so what's the joint that is it? The After Taxes joint that you're gonna sell us?
Yeah, the album is called After Taxes, but the song would be Street Music on the album, called Street Music, and the song is a dope song, and I don't think anybody ever really heard Chic like that, but if you listen to that song, you'll see that, he does know how to make songs. It's not just, just not the third member that's just dropping, little lyrics here and there. But he made a really dope song. It's called Street Music, and it's on the After Taxes album.
Yo, it's funny that you say Chic because I think what you're talking about is what most people look at. He is he's the forgotten member of the Locks. You know what I mean? Like, for a while, to me, the Locks was all Jada because he had that voice, he had the punchlines. Then, Styles kind of came out, started doing his thing, and Chic kind of just got left behind. But I'll tell you this, man, I got put on to how nice Chic was on this Alchemist album, First Infantry. He got a joint on here called The Essence. And, Chic bodies that joint, man. You know what I mean? And from that day forward, it was like, all right, I got to pay attention, dude. I ain't going to hold you. I've never giving Chic a whole album, but I'm gonna get his After Taxes joint a listen. But yeah, I think a lot of people do sleep on Chic, but that
lots of joints on there.
Yeah, that First Infantry joint, his verse on there, to me, he was better than Jada and Styles, and he ended it. You know what I mean? And it was just like, damn. And again, me being a producer, Alchemist, the beat was crazy too, so that also got me too. So yeah, I definitely feel you with Chic.
Let's not forget about the joint he had with Pun on that Rough Riders album, which is Flaming too. Y'all remember that?
I personally don't Rough Riders to me was a time in hip hop where I kind of I dipped out because I ain't never dip out on the culture, but that here's a funny story that most people don't believe, and nobody believes this when I say this because they feel like it's impossible. I've never heard a DMX album. Like I wasn't in the
whole album.
I've never heard a DMX album.
Me either. I haven't either. I've never one X fan, so I never listened to an X album.
Yeah, like when X dropped, when that whole Rough Riders thing came down with Swiss, I always talk to people about the split in hip hop with Swiss, and to me it was the Hard Knock Life album because Jay's album, that Volume 2. Because prior to that, to me, everybody I ran with, we kind of all agreed on hip hop. That was dope. That was whack. Whatever. That album, I saw hip hop heads literally divide. I know me personally, I haven't listened. I don't really feel that album. I wasn't a big fan of Swiss's production with the whole Triton sound and everything like that. But I knew a lot of people who loved that album, who swear by that album. And I think that was just it for me. It wasn't nothing against X because as I've gotten older and I tell people that and we chop it up about X, they're like, yo, Kill, we're shocked. We really think you would like X. But for me being a producer, with Swiss's with that Triton stuff, I just wasn't feeling it. So like, and the wild part is my young boy Cassidy was signed to Rough Riders. Cassidy, my young boy, lived across the street from me in Philly. You know what I mean? But I never really paid a lot of attention to like the drag-ons and any of that Rough Riders joint. So I never heard that joint. But what's the name of it? Because I'll definitely check it out.
The Rough Riders, that was the Rough Riders compilation album. Damn, name's not coming right now.
It's all good. I think I know what you're talking about because I want to say it was the first joint Cass got on, the first joint that Cassidy was on. So I think I know what you're talking about. But I definitely check out that joint too.
It's Rough Riders Volume 1, Rough Riders compilation Volume 1, the one that had where Eve had the song "What Some Niggas Want."
Yeah. I know. Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah, that. I mean, it had a whole bunch of joints on there, but the one I'm talking about had Chic and Pun on it, and that was like the banger of that summer too.
All right, no doubt. Ev, give me another one, good brother.
I would say at this point, I don't know if I have one that people would disagree with. I think the rest of them got stuff people may not have never heard, so I don't know if that still qualifies.
Nah, definitely, bro. You know, to me, the whole thing is just putting us on new music. You know, stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so much hip hop. I've missed out on a lot of hip hop. You know what I mean? Like, because sometimes they're just it's and that's why I was saying with Mega, it may have been a time where it was just the influx of music that was out that, you know, he kind of just got lost in the sauce or something like that. So you know me, bro. I'm all about getting put on and stuff. So definitely.
I will bring up Defari out of Cali. His first album, Focus Daily, is a problem. I think he, for whatever reason, whatever the time period was when he came out, his second album wasn't as good, but that first album was pretty dope. He was down, Defari was down with Exhibit.
Yep.
So he was part of that Exhibit Alcoholics kind of crew.
Right.
Just to make sure, Eb, I'm sorry not to cut you off.
That's all good.
You talking about the dude that on the album cut, he had a jersey that looked like a Laker jersey, but it had his name on it. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the album too. It's called Focus Daily. That album, that's the album that I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah. So Defari, man, is the one I would throw in there. One that probably got overlooked. From, you know, just for the simple fact that it was independent. It might not have had a lot of push behind it. Actually, I'm not sure if it was independent or not. I'll take that back. I'm not really sure, but I know a lot of people didn't check for it. A lot of people didn't know about it. But I think Cat was really dope. I like the fact of I think he was a school teacher too. So the fact that he was a school teacher and an MC, I just, you know, he got a little bit more extra props from me. I thought that was some dope shit.
Yeah, it's funny. That's another joint that kind of went under the radar for me. Like, you know, again, wasn't that I ain't think he was dope or the single or whatever, but yeah, because I know exactly the joint the album you're talking about. So what's the name of that joint again?
It's called Focus Daily.
Focus Daily. All right.
Focus Daily.
Yeah, I definitely got to dig into that. All right, Sue, who else you got, good brother?
Okay, let's go with my man Sauce Money.
Okay.
And you ain't never lied, brother.
Now Sauce, crazy lyrical monster too. I don't know what happened between him and Hove or, you know, what went down, but he's kind of forgotten about too. Like, he never really came. I don't know if he ever came out with a project after Middle Finger U, but that album Middle Finger U is a monster banger. Crazy beats. I think Premier did like 2 beats for him. He had that pregame joint with Hove.
Bro, don't get me started on that pregame joint off the Belly soundtrack, man.
Yes,
bro.
To this day, still my shit. I listen to that shit like once a week, man. I ain't even gonna lie.
And here's the hard thing about it: is the song only like 2 minutes long.
2 minutes long. 2 minutes and 13 seconds long.
Yo, Sauce and Jay both kill that joint, man. Yo, what you say? Dirty Burnings, my crew never hand me, nigga. We family. You're like, oh my, yo. Dude, the way dude sets that, yeah. Finish what you said about Sauce, and then I got some Sauce stories, baby.
Killed the whole rap game with just one line.
Yep, man. All right, so for you, what would you send them in the direction of?
As far as song or
either or, because I try to do both, because somebody watching may be like how I was with Cardi B, like my nigga. I'm not giving nobody the whole album, so that's why I'm hitting them with the album if you got time, or a song. Like what joint would you hit them with?
Well, listen, definitely check out the album. The album's called Middle Finger You, but like I said, it's like I got 1, 2, 3 standout tracks on that, and that would be Pregame, what we just discussed, For My Hustlers, and there's one joint called We Gon' Rock. So let's just go with that. If I'm going to introduce you to Sauce Money, I want you to listen to We Gon' Rock off the Middle Finger You album. It's crazy. You'll be a fan.
All right, no doubt. Here's the funny thing with Sauce. So, long story short, my man Roots used to produce for a couple of cats. He did the joint for Bleak. Do my ladies run this joint? I'm in his crib in Queens. This got to be like 97, 98. He's playing me the album that he produced for Sauce Money. Yo, my word on everything I own. That shit sounded crazy. That shit was everything. Middle Finger You, I ain't gonna hold you, let me down as a whole project. You know, I don't think it showcased him at his best. I don't know if it was because he wasn't on rock, but he was down with Jay. I just don't think it was. But this joint that Roots let me hear, dog, I may have to hit up Roots the other day. Like, dog, it's been 20, 30 years. You gotta leak that shit. Like, it was, the beats were crazy. Roots killed the beats. Sauce was Sauce. It was crazy. Another crazy story about Sauce while Roots was managing Sauce. He comes to the radio station. This is when I was up at EAA at Morgan. He comes to the radio station like, boom, yo, we got this joint from Premiere that we using for Sauce. He plays us the beat. We all like, nah, that ain't it, bro. Like, that ain't it. And he like, yo, I'm gonna tell Primo now. I'm like, I don't know how, my nigga, but nah, that ain't it. And he comes back and he had the beat for Against the Grain. For people who don't know, the Soul in the Hole soundtrack, Sauce Money had a song on there called Against the Grain, produced by Premiere. That's what I would tell people to start off with, either Pregame off the Belly soundtrack or Against the Grain off the Soul in the Hole soundtrack. Sauce is a problem. Anybody who likes lyrics, punchlines, all of that, Sauce is the problem. I heard, I don't know if this like put a bitter taste in his mouth or whatever like that, because if I'm not mistaken, he wrote for Puff that I'm Missing You joint, but I think the money was funny or something didn't equal up right, so I'm not sure if that's, because I never really heard too much from Sauce after that. So I know for a lot of dudes, you know, when the shystiness is a business come in, they kind of just, you know, like dip away from it and everything like that. But yo,
watching Puff.
Yo, Sauce, yo, problem. Yo, problem. And there's a lot of J cats out there who probably don't even realize they've heard Sauce rhyming with Jay. I forgot the name off of the joint they got off Jay's second album, but Sauce killed that. You'd be hard pressed.
Face Off.
Yeah, Face Off. You'd be hard pressed to find anything that Sauce is on that he don't annihilate. You know, but that's definitely a good pick, Sue, because when we talking about lyricists, I've rarely ever hear Sauce name come up. So that's definitely a good pick. Ev, who you got up next, bro?
Yeah, well, my last one. This is my last one. I'll just throw this one out there. When you brought up Sauce Money, it made me think about Lord Have Mercy and what the fuck happened to Lord Have Mercy. But that's another story because I was waiting for that cat. My last one would be another Cali group during the 90s. These cats called Cali Agents, who was Roscoe, not Razzcast, but Roscoe and not Roscoe, Rasco, because there's a Roscoe and he's Rasco, and Planet Asia, who was already a sick, nasty, ridiculous MC. Them two cats together did this joint called Cali Agents. The album is, to me, a classic. I wish they would have did another project. I don't know if they did. I didn't hear anything more. But the one is called Cali Agents, and again, it's Rasco and Planet Asia. All right, came out like mid to late 90s, Brian.
So give me a little background, because I've heard the name Planet Asia, but I ain't gonna hold you. I never really dug into stuff like that.
Me either. Although I've heard the name, but yeah.
Check out Planet Asia is, I believe Planet Asia is from Oakland. I know Rasco was from I think Fresno, but Planet Asia, I mean, they both are dope MCs. Planet Asia is a monster. So Planet Asia kind of reminds you of not Razzcast, but he's kind of ill with it like Razzcast, but he has his own completely different style. He's still doing shit now. He still has some dope stuff out. I know he's kind of like one of them MCs who basically kind of made their career off the independent sector. So I know for a while he went up to he was in Canada for a while doing some stuff. I don't know if he stayed up there, if he came back down, but I've always appreciated his stuff. I think I just checked out. He just released something last year. I can't remember the name of the album. I checked out a couple cuts. It was pretty dope. But if you get a chance to check him out, the cat name is Planet Asia. To me, one of my favorite things with hearing him was with somebody else, and that was with Rascal, because Rascal is dope, but they have two different styles, but they complement each other so well on this album.
All right, no doubt. I'm gonna have to dig into that. The next dude I got up, man, and it's funny. I get why people don't like him, but I'm gonna go with Chainz the Rapper out of Chicago, man.
I like Chainz. He just sometimes, you know, sometimes he'll take you out left field, but I like Chainz.
Yeah, the thing is, like, and I get it, you know, a lot of the cats I chop it up with and I run with. Like, I mean, they like, yo, word Chainz, like, he look like he a funny little dude. Like, he just some little weirdo type rapper or whatever like that. But I ain't gonna hold you. I got put on the Chainz. They had this dope reality series on CNN called Chicagoland, which is very dope. Nobody's ever watched it. Check it out if you got it on demand. It's basically about the mayor of Chicago, the police chief of Chicago, and the principal of one of Chicago's worst schools, and how they all intertwine with each other without really ever having to meet. So basically, long story short, the mayor closes down certain schools in the Black and Latino neighborhoods, which of course, like with us, that'd be like in Philly back in our day, it was Germantown and King. They had a rivalry, be like close King, and everybody had to go to Germantown. You know, so it's a problem now. Then what's happening is, because it's a problem now, more people are getting shot and killed, which then it affects the police chief. And then you have the kids who are no longer going to school, which then affects the principal and her numbers and things like that. So it's a very dope, very, very dope reality series. It's not reality, no love and hip hop. It's great. I've been working with teens in Southeast DC for 18 years, and I was learning stuff from that. One of the illest things I heard, they went to jail and they were talking to cats in jail, and this dude said one of the illest things I ever heard. He said, "Why would I fight and get dirty when I could shoot you and stay clean?" You know what I mean? And that gave you just a quick mindset into where these kids are nowadays. Like, you know, when I'm 44, when we was growing up, there really was no shoot like that. You know what I mean? In Philly, I mean, cats would get shot, but you keep the knuckle up. That was that.
Yeah, knuckle game.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, but now when he said that, I'm like, ew. Like, he's like, yo, if I rumble you, I'm gonna get dirty. I may lose. You know what I mean? Like, yo, let me just shoot you and get you out the way. And it's like, wow, like that's where people at. But all that to say is that they did an episode on just hip hop in Chicago, and of course Common was on there, Rhyme Fest, and there was this dude Chainz the Rapper, and I'm like, yo, dude is alright. You know what I mean? And it's funny because I sent them to Ev, and I was like, Ev, I think I told you, I said, I don't think you're gonna like this dude, man. I don't think.
And I was alright, man. It took me a minute because I mean, his subject matter is a little all over the place, but once you kind of understand his thinking, his thought process, then you can understand where he's coming from. He's nice. I mean, as an MC though, he's nice. I can't knock him.
Yeah, and he's quirky too. That's like when, like, and you know, I'm like, you being an MC and you being real hard on MCs, I was like, I don't know if you're gonna like him. But the name of his first album is called Acid Rap. If I had to put somebody on to something, I would say his second album, Coloring Book. It's 5 mics to me. It's one of those albums that I didn't even realize it may have dropped maybe 2-3 years ago. And I'm not like waiting for another album from Chainz. Not that I don't want to hear no new music, but just the album was so satisfying to me that I still play it to this day, and I still enjoy it like it's a brand new album.
I never heard that album either.
Yeah. Coloring.
I listened to the first one, the Acid Rap joint.
Yeah, but definitely Coloring Book, and it even had people calling me because people were checking in with me like, "Yo, is he a gospel rapper or whatever like that?" He talking about God a lot, and I was telling them, "Nah, I don't think you know gospel rap because
its content is a little. I can't find no better word, but this content is a little weird to me.
Right?
I heard it. Like, I'm always hearing dude's name, and you know, always seeing him in the worship, but never really heard. I probably heard that. You don't want no problem with me. That's like the only
right.
I heard.
Yeah.
And like based off of that, I can't say I'm a fan or I even like that shit or nothing like that. But you said Coloring Book.
Yeah, Coloring Book is the joint, and like I said, it's here's the thing that me and Ed was talking about. That we all listen to hip hop for different things. Me being a producer, I'm always listening for beats. So it's why I may have missed out on a lot of dope lyricists. Like maybe, you know, Planet Asia didn't have a lot of dope beats, so it would have just skated right over me, you know. So I get it, like, you know, everybody is not gonna be into a Chainz, you know what I mean? But kind of not really saying what Tosh was saying earlier, but it's like, to me, he's the everyday dude, and the reason why I kind of respect his album, because it is very God influenced, but it's not a gospel album. And for me, it's just like where his walk is. Like, his first album wasn't like this. His next album may not be like this. It's kind of like, you know, I got saved in 2000. If I made a rap album in 2000, I probably would have been rapping about God a lot. I'm now in 2018, I probably may not be rapping about God as much. So I just think that that's another thing with Chainz that I like, that he's making music just for who he is and where he is right now. You know what I mean? If I had to pick a song off this to go with, I would probably say, oh man, I love the whole album. I would probably say, for hip hop dudes, I would say How Great, just for the simple fact that Jay Electronica is on it. So if for no other reason, people like, I don't, just give me the one song, listen to it. Chainz kills it. And then Jay Elect comes on and just fucking annihilates it and just does what Jay Elect does. But even with Jay Elect, he's talking about God, and even the lyrics are like, I prayed, I never got no hair back. You know, so to me, if you've gone through some things listening to this album, you know, I'd be hard. You don't gotta be saved. You ain't gotta be no Christian. But I definitely think there will be something to speak to you on that album. So I'm gonna go with Chainz on that one. Sue, how many? You got anybody else left?
I got another one here real quick. And this is like a very polarizing MC. A lot of people like him. A lot of people don't fuck with him. But I'm gonna go with Lloyd Banks.
Okay.
A lot of, you know, to me, I mean, it's probably gonna be some controversial shit, but I think he the best G Unit rapper.
He is the best. Yo, I agree with you. I agree with you. I'm gonna say some controversial shit too. I wonder if 50 got his style from Lord.
Okay.
Hey, that's not so far fetched. If you really listen to
it, yeah,
it's not so far fetched.
He nice.
But a lot of the people that, you know, I have these debates with, and it's 50. I'm like, yo, have you listened to this man? Do you listen to his lyrics? Have you heard that 8 Mile freestyle?
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard what's that song? I Smell Pussy. Yo, this dude is amazing.
Yeah, he's a beast. He's a problem.
He's a problem, and his flow is real ill.
Mm-hmm.
And his voice, he got a very unique voice also, which also helps, you know, which also like blends smoothly with his flow, and just Lloyd Banks to me is the best rapper on G Unit.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
All right, tell me this, Sue. What album or song you sending them to?
Okay, let's go to it's called Ain't No Click, which is on his first album, The Hunger for More. It's my personal favorite on the album. Yeah, it's called Ain't No Click.
All right, Ain't No Click. The funny thing again with Lloyd Banks, I think for me, I didn't realize how dope Lloyd was probably until like the past 2 years. Like, it was very recent for me because, you know, of course, Get Rich or Die Trying was dope. But then after that, when G Unit really started to pop and we saw Banks and Yayo, like, they were on that like 106 and Park shit. You know what I mean? So I never even really paid Lloyd Banks any mind. But what always intrigued me was I would always see real MCs having him on their album. You know what I mean? Which kind of told me like, yo, like, dude must kind of be nice, because I'm seeing him around people who don't run or would be with that G Unit type thing. And I'll tell you a verse that he killed. It's funny, the first time I really rocked with Lloyd was on Joe Budden's the Mood Music 4 joint I was telling you about. So Posse cut up on there called Remember the Titans. Then it's Joe. It's
for sure. Yes, sir.
Lloyd Banks, Royce. And Lloyd Banks kills that joint. But again, I'm looking at the lineup like, you know, I wouldn't even put Lloyd there. And then another joint, this joint right here, Conway, who I'm about to talk about in a minute, he got a joint on here called Bullet Club with Lloyd Banks, and Lloyd Banks kills it again. So, nah, to me, it's no controversy at all about that, good brother. I'm gonna run into my last couple of few. I got a couple. My man Currency out of New Orleans. You know what I mean? A lot of people I know, and it's funny, a lot of my people are still stuck in the 90s, and what I mean by that is not no Nas shit, but just that they really only still like rocking with up north dudes. So Currency being from NO,
I'm guilty of that. I ain't gonna lie, I'm guilty of that.
You know what I mean? It's all good. That's what we here to do. But Currency is dope. I would say the album I sent anybody to is called Covert Coup. It was produced all by Alchemist. Crazy. Another person I got, Conway, right here. This dude right here with Griselda Records. A newer MC. People have been telling me about Conway and his brother Westside Gun for a minute. I was like, all right, you know, I'll get to him, whatever. They did the cypher on BET because Eminem signed them to Shady. And I'm listening to it and I'm like, yo, dude is ill, but what's wrong with his face? And he's got this thing called ball palsy because he was shot in his head, and it's like his face is kind of like slumped. So I was like, damn, who's dude? And I started spitting. And the first joint I would send people to, this right here, Rejects. You know what I mean? Rejects 2. This album right here stayed on repeat for forever with me and Conway. And these joints, you got to order them from the website. So, you know, if I'm ordering these joints to get the actual physical joints, I'm telling you, Conway's a problem. Then the last joint I'm going to go with is my man Stally out of Cleveland, Ohio. He was signed to Rick Ross. He was down with that whole crew, got the big beard. I thought he was from Philly at first. He used to be down with Dame Dash.
Me too.
Yeah, thought he was from Philly, but Stally is dope. Very dope. Again, self-promotion. I would probably sell you on my Best of Stally mixtape. You know what I mean? You go to my site, We'll Make Beats for Food, and grab it. That would be what I think would definitely sell you on Stally. So definitely appreciate chopping up with you guys. Ev, give them all the information, good brother.
Yo, I'm back in it on Twitter game. Come see me.
Yeah, I see you got the new profile pic. I said, oh, here you go. You got to do
Here I come. Instagram, Ashish Jalea.
What's the Twitter joint real quick?
Oh, the Twitter is Mental151. I'm also going to give you a shoot. Because I'm doing the center work now. We're doing some work in Northwest Pasadena. A lot of people don't realize in the impoverished community out here in Cali. Just trying to get the people back into the arts field, get the everything rolling. So the Twitter for that I think is Kebulon Pasadena. So I'll just plug that one too. But yeah, Mental151 is my Twitter. Instagram is Ashish Jalea, ASISJALIA.
All right, no doubt. Sue, give him all the stuff, good brother.
Okay, Supreme Son Twitter handle @FatManSue. I mean, yeah, that's basically it. I ain't on no other type of social media but Twitter. No Instagram, no Facebook, nothing like that.
All right, no doubt. And you already know this with me, Kill889 on IG and on Twitter. We'll Make Beats for Food again. Had a lot of dope MCs. Just a quick rundown. We got Hell Rel, Cormega, Joe Budden, Old Dirty Bastards, 2 Chainz, Prince Paul, Dilated Peoples, Chic, Louch, The Far Ride, Source Money, Cali Agents, Stally, Currency, Chance the Rapper, and Conway. So definitely, if y'all looking for some dope music, check it out. Like I said, maybe in a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months, we'll sit back, come back, see, we listen to the joint, see what people think about them. We fuck with them or not, if it stays the same. So definitely appreciate y'all, man. I'll chop it up with y'all next week, man.
All right, kid.